YouTube, welcome back to another episode of The Heart of a Family. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. hmm What we gonna talk about today? You got anything y'all want to talk about?
Hmm.
So y'all
I was
gonna,
gonna see, did y'all see where some of them victims are coming out with the Epstein saying that they gonna be releasing the names
uh-uh,
of the people or the predators that preyed on them when they were little?
mm-mm,
Yep, I sent the video in the WhatsApp. They met today or either yesterday, and it says Epstein survivors say they're creating their own list to release.
and
The survivors spoke outside of the Capitol Hill today. And one of those who took the podium, Lisa Phillips, said survivors have been discussing releasing their own list.
Mm, it's gonna get
So
ugly.
they were like, we know who the people are because they were there. So they're saying, forget all of this, protecting predators and child molesters and all of that.
Yeah,
They just release their own names.
I know. I saw that you posted that, but then I was like, I ain't gonna look at that. Like it's probably just a bunch of fake stuff.
Mm-mm, it was them
Probably ain't no
victims
real
standing
names.
outside the Capitol.
Dang.
Yeah, so did.
Well, they in somebody's in trouble. Trouble.
Mm-hmm. What do I do with that remote? Yep. I said, "Ooh, they got them rattling in they seat because they don't know who they about to release." Well, I said that's crazy.
mm-mm,
Oh, it's about to get ugly.
mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah.
Uh-uh.
And beauty.
All right, y'all see it?
Is that Kentucky student?
Looks like a Southern Belle to me.
I think I sent if that's like the University of Kentucky, I sent that in a WhatsApp out too. I didn't look at it, but I read the title of it. Beauty queen cheerleader charged in her baby's trash bag unalive.
Beauty queen arrested in a shocking case. Her baby found dead inside her home in Kentucky. Laken Snelling seemed to be a ray of positivity on social media, but now she's facing charges related to dark allegations. What she has reportedly admitted to police in this disturbing story. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
They need to make it known that you could drop your baby off at a fire department.
It's already out there. They have safe places. That's what those places are called.
Well,
They're
but it,
safe
I
places
don't think
for
it's known because I
it's known to
mean,
women. They know.
like,
I don't know why they don't utilize it. A lot of people don't. I don't know why.
but how could you possibly you forget that people remember you had a bump for 9 months and then all of a sudden the baby gone. Like, no,
And
nobody
then
just
them
gonna
safe
forget.
what do they call them? Safe haven, safe whatever. I mean, some of them have it to where you can pull open like a little, not a drawer, but like a receiving thing, and you can lay the baby in there and push it in. And the fire stations, it's a hospitals, it's a whole lot of places that they can go drop the babies off, and there's no questions asked.
Hmm.
I think she didn't want to have a baby, and she's probably in a state to where she cannot get an abortion because it's illegal. And unfortunately, that's probably going to increase in those states where abortions are illegal.
I will tell you right here at the beginning that there is still a lot that we don't know in this case that just came to light in Kentucky. But what we do know in this story is that a young child lost their life, and we are talking about just a baby. We also know, according to law enforcement, this is that baby's mom. Her name is Laken Snelling. She's just 21 years old, and this is her mugshot from when she was booked into the local jail in Lexington, Kentucky. And at the time of this recording, it appears she is bonded out. Now again, Snelling, just 21 years old, a student at
Bonded out?
Kentucky. In fact, she's a member of the competitive cheering squad known as the Stunt Team. Here's her page on the official Kentucky Wildcats website. This is a Division I SEC school. Now, Snelling also appears to be a pageant queen. Her social media shows her constantly posting about beauty pageants and being out and about with friends in fancy dresses, like this one, which appears to be for the Kentucky Derby. But now there are major questions for Snelling, and she is being seen in a much different light because of the story that we're talking about today. It all began on August 27th when Lexington police were called to her house for a report of an unresponsive infant. That child was pronounced dead on scene, according to police. And according to the local television station WLEX TV, police say that baby was found inside of a closet, and there's an arrest citation that the TV station looked at that says the infant was wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The citation goes on to say that Snelling was read her rights, and she allegedly admitted to giving birth to that baby. Then she said that she concealed the birth by cleaning evidence and putting all cleaning items inside of a trash bag along with the body of the infant who was wrapped in a towel. Now, at the time of this recording,
How did she bond out? How did she even get bond? How she even get bond? She unalived. How old was the infant? Was it born still? I mean, was it born or was it a few months
Listen,
old?
listen. From what it sounds like, she gave birth at home.
Right.
So whether the baby was alive or not at the time of birth, you still put the baby in the bag.
Right, but I'm getting at the point that the charge can be different. If the baby was born and she put it in a bag, that's
That's what
murder.
she said.
If the baby was born stillborn, I don't know if they can charge her with first degree
How
murder
can
with
you
the
prove
baby.
if the baby was stillborn at
They
that
would they
after
would have to do like an autopsy. They can probably determine if a baby was stillborn.
body of the
technology
infant who was wrapped in
crazy?
a towel. Now, at the time of this, items inside of a baby. Then she said that she concealed the birth by cleaning evidence and putting all cleaning items inside of a trash bag along with the body of the infant who was wrapped in a towel. Now, at the time of this recording, it is unclear what the baby's cause of death is. We also don't know how old the infant was when Laken Snelling allegedly gave birth to this child. Now, 4 days after police were first called to Snelling's home where they discovered this dead child, they arrested her. That was on August 31st, and she is now charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. It's unclear how open.
Did her parents not know she was pregnant? I wonder, is it her home or off campus house or something?
How's she getting a slap on the wrist?
And how she get bond?
You put the baby in the trash, wrapped it up in a towel.
And concealed it.
How are you not?
I don't even know how she got bond.
Then I always think about the extreme, like she gonna be able to live her life, be able to reproduce and have another kid. What you gonna
Hmm.
tell that mama? Have you ever thought about having a brother or sister for me? No,
She gonna
no.
come up with a story that she went into labor by herself. The baby was stillborn. She didn't know what to do. She panicked, put it in a trash bag, and then watch her little ass get off. Watch. Guarantee you.
Because now, back to what you said, do the parents know?
Mm-hmm.
Did friends know? How do you, unless she has one of those rare conditions where she just doesn't show, how do you just hide that from everybody? And then the baby, what a baby daddy at? What a baby daddy at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And Snelling
that's
was
terrible.
pregnant, but from what we can see on social media, and I recognize often that can only tell just part of the story, it does appear that she stopped posting pictures of herself in April of this year on Facebook, and then here's her last post on TikTok from June. It's a picture with emojis that describe her, and we did notice in the bottom left, under what says goals, there's an emoji of a mom with a child. Now, again, it is unclear what was going on in Snelling's life, but we did see pictures with a man. It's unclear if this is the baby's father, and it's unclear what he allegedly knew about not just Snelling being pregnant, but the birth of this child. At the time of this recording, no one else. We just learned that Snelling posted bond today per court documents acquired by
Hey, listen.
unclear what he allegedly knew about not just Snelling being pregnant, but the birth of this child. At the time of this recording, no one else. We just learned that Snelling
Shout out to what's that called? Is it Mary Kay?
Who?
Um, um, maybe Maybelline.
What are you talking about? The makeup
Um,
line?
man, they making a killing.
Talking about for the way she looked with makeup versus no
Yeah,
makeup.
different. Look,
Oh yeah, makeup
when you
does
go to the mug
wonders for
shot,
people.
bam, damn.
So why some of these men better be asking these women to wash their face.
Mm-hmm.
posted bond today per court documents acquired by WLEX TV in Kentucky. We know that Snelling was released on $100,000 bond, and she is currently living at home with her parents. She will not have to wear an ankle monitor. Police say the local coroner
She won't have to?
Where my weed at, yo? Wow, like I just don't
I'm
get
just
it.
tripping
Like,
that she even got a bond. Now that she got a bond, it was low in
wait,
relation to her charge and what she did. And then you don't have to wear an ankle monitor?
time out, time out. Do y'all remember that little girl that was in the hospital that did this?
What little girl?
What did she get charged with? She was, I don't know, she was in her teens or something, or maybe 16, 17. She was at a hospital and the nurses heard some loud stuff going on in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember that.
she got charged.
What was the skin color?
I think she was Mexican though, but still,
Okay,
like,
that's still brown.
I mean, yes, but man, this is crazy.
I can tell you, her family is kind of probably wealthy. They done got some good attorneys, and then they got her out. But I mean,
But
you
okay, hold
got the
on.
money.
Let's be fair. What are the possible situations that could have happened that resulted in no bond, no ankle, I mean bond, ankle monitor, no ankle monitor, and a slap on the wrist? What
I
options
don't. Oh, I don't know.
was okay, if it was a stillborn, was there no foul play? If so, how is not putting the baby in the trash bag, wrapping it up and concealing it not foul play?
But then if it was stillborn, why do you have to wrap them up to hide it? That means you went into labor at home, you delivered the baby, and when the baby came out, for whatever reason, it was stillborn. That happens in women. You can have a stillborn baby and it come out and the baby is unalive for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But
that's
she
true.
concealed it and put
But
it in a trash
you
bag.
put your baby in a dang trash bag?
And wait a
Yeah.
minute. Who was there? Right, Jess. Who was there? Did you? I
Yeah.
know if you did that all by yourself,
No, there's no
however
way.
long it took to kick push
There's
But we
no
don't
way.
and then
know.
clean up.
We don't know how old the baby was, though. We don't know. And then I'm like, who cut the umbilical cord if it was stillborn
Exactly.
and it came out unalive during the
She did,
childbirth?
obviously, or somebody there.
Yeah, somebody
Somebody
had to
it's
be there.
somebody had to be there. Yeah, somebody had
There's
to be
no
there.
way. Like giving birth is a bloody situation.
Yeah. Yep. I don't
Y'all
know. And
down
then
in the
it's too
comments.
early. It's too early, I think, for an eye. When did this happen?
Too early. Listen,
I
listen.
know I was going to say for an autopsy, but I don't know how
They
long
just, they
ago this
just,
happened.
she just bonded out. So this has had to happen. When this happened? Let me look at
See?
unemployed.
So it may be too early for the autopsy results to come back from the baby. So maybe it's a possibility that they can up her charges when those come back. Because they're going to probably do an autopsy to determine the cause of unaliving, some tests to determine was it
So she
how
was
old the
arrested
infant.
Sunday.
See, it's a
She was
chance that they may
released
up the charges.
on Tuesday for on $100,000 bond.
Mm, mm, mm. I guarantee you, she's gonna say she would if the baby was stillborn. She's gonna say she went into labor at home. She didn't know what to do. She panicked. She had the baby. It wasn't breathing, and she put him in a bag. Now, why would she do that? I don't know. But
But
she
But
gonna
like
say I
still,
I don't,
has
freaked
to
out.
be another person.
Yeah,
but
she gonna say I
so
freaked out.
so yeah, so it was fresh after birth. How does she still get out? And then and
Mm-mm.
then and then she's at her parents' house roughly 200 miles away
Mm-mm.
from where she got arrested.
Mm, mm, mm. That's crazy.
Y'all
That's
down in
terrible.
the
And
comments, y'all let us know really why is it, are we being too harsh on this young lady or
no.
are we truly just dumbfounded? Because this is blasphemy.
Will release the results and the cause of death for this child when those autopsy results come back. Now, as far as the charges
See?
that Snelling is facing right now, she is not charged with killing this child at the time of this recording. It is unclear how this child died. The charges she is facing: abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence, both of which under Kentucky law are Class D felonies. And according to a website for the state, those typically come with prison sentences between 1 and 5 years. Hey, before we get back to this episode of On the Case presented by Law and Crime, I want to take, if you knew it would
start with what a tragedy, what a horrible. I don't want to suggest that this young woman killed her baby. We have seen other cases, high profile cases, including the one that I argued in the Ohio Supreme Court where that was the allegation. But that's something prosecutors are currently weighing.
And the other new piece of information, just as we're recording this, is she was given a $100,000 bond. She was able to post that. She's going to go live with her parents, according to WLEX TV, which has the court document. No ankle monitor. What do you make of that decision for her?
You know, our system presumes that everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
No, no. Here y'all
If
go.
that, I'm sorry to say, and it's not always about race, but we know if that was a black female, they would still be sitting in jail. It is what it is. They ain't gonna have no bond, and then I damn sure know if they get out on bond, they're gonna have an ankle monitor.
Hmm.
Just to just to ease my mind, listen, I'm gonna need to know from the time she had birth and the time you got arrested, I need cell phone data. Y'all better make this as big as the Casey Anthony case. We want to know what happened to that
Right.
infant.
Yep, yep, that's crazy.
Because if that's the case, and then she gets off, anybody could say, "Oh, it's a stillborn. I don't know. I didn't know what to do, and I just panicked and put it in a
I
bag
panicked.
and wrapped it up."
I panicked.
That's what she
Like,
gonna say. Because she didn't already admit it to having the baby, so she can't backtrack and say it was. I don't think it was stillborn because now maybe they just ain't released all the information, but she admitted to giving birth to the baby. They didn't say nothing about the baby being stillborn. They ain't even said nothing about that. They just said she admitted to giving birth at the house.
And our bail system is supposed to ensure two things. Typically, will you return to court for all your court dates? And secondly, are you a general risk to the public? That second factor is pretty obvious. She's not a risk to the public, like the way somebody who committed a murder spree, shooting people out the window of a car, that's somebody who's a risk to the public. So that's not this fact pattern here. But we want to make sure that she does show back up. Now, with these charges that have currently been brought, that's no reason to flee to another country or something like that. But if she knows facts that might suggest she could be charged with murder, the judge may wish they had put an ankle monitor on her.
Yeah, does that, so let's just say, and I'm not sure how long the autopsy could take, but if it comes back and it does raise the question about foul play in the way that this infant, which we also don't know how old the infant was, but we learn more details, and let's just say it does become a murder case, which it isn't right now. I mean, how quickly can that change in terms of the charges and what her bond would be?
Yeah, if they upgrade the charges, and the autopsy can be done in just a matter of a few days. Autopsies, typically, depending on the caseload at where the autopsies are done, can be done in a day or two, and you have pretty quick results. What takes a long time is when they have to send blood samples and other tissue samples out for toxic examinations to see if there's drugs or other sort of things. I doubt that's the issue here, that the forensic autopsy expert will be able to decide pretty quickly whether this child was breathing air when the child died. If this is a case where this young woman either didn't give the right care to the baby, because Kentucky does have the Born Alive Act passed in 2021, which requires both medical providers and parents to give the right sustenance to a baby that's been born, or if they decide that the baby was breathing air and then something stopped that air from being breathed, that would be a very serious charge. The prosecutors would move quickly to go to a grand jury to get new charges, and then there would be an obligation for the judge to have a new bond hearing.
There's another charge she's facing, the concealing the birth of an infant. And clearly, if this was a case that she had the child at home, like, and with what she's accused of to this point of covering up, the cleanup of it and all of that, like, I get that. But from, like, the law's standpoint.
So
Like,
that tells you right there.
listen to the
She,
words that just came out of his mouth.
yep, yep.
Laken, whatever, if you are innocent,
So the baby was like a day old,
if
basically.
you
So
if you are innocent, um, wow.
yep. So that tells you right there. The baby was born, and after the baby was born, whether he or she came out stillborn or came out like a regular birth, she did something, concealed it, cleaned it up, whether it was her by herself or somebody else. So it happened all in that time span. And then, because she tried to conceal it.
I just don't understand. They gonna come after me, but oh well. I just don't understand. Like, if it was stillborn, why not do the opposite and call the folks? Or you still could have called the folks, but how about you taking or her out of the trash bag
Well,
that
no,
you
the
put
baby
them
shouldn't
in?
even have been put in the trash bag. First, if she went into labor at home, and if she was near a phone, 9 times out of 10, the woman is going to call 911.
Yeah, what I'm saying, if the
And
baby was
then they
unresponsive, you
will,
should have called 911 and not put it
yeah,
in a trash bag.
and then they will send them to paramedics there, and then they will take it from there. There's no concealing or putting it in a bag or anything like that. And then if you were at home by yourself and you gave birth, and you on the phone with 911, because sometimes they don't come out breathing all the time, you gotta hit them on the back or tap them on their
Mm-hmm.
feet or whatever.
Yep.
So I mean, they'll tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shoot. Innocent until proven guilty. We gotta wait for that autopsy.
Mm, 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 mm,
We gotta
mm,
wait.
mm. That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's too many people that go into labor at home and end up having a baby there. So,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, so she had the baby cut the cord, put it in a bag, because you got to cut the cord and do all that stuff before you put it in the bag. And then you just left it in the bag in the house? That's crazy. And then I'm like, if her mom and them didn't know she pregnant, I'd be like, where's the baby? Maybe she didn't stay with her parents.
Doesn't matter. I think if I'm popular on social media, I'm well known on campus, people are going to notice something when I walk around.
Well, you
Mm-hmm.
got
And
to
then
look at the fact.
what are the odds that she didn't tell a soul?
But you got to look at the fact school just started, and then they said she hadn't posted since like they noticed she had stopped posting since like April. So she probably stopped posting when she kind of started showing a little bit and getting, out there to keep it on the under, because they said it was a period of time where she did not post.
So
And
was
maybe
she
she didn't want to go
was
back to
she
school having a
raped?
baby.
Ooh. Was she sexually assaulted? Can I say that?
SA,
Assaulted? Was she
yeah.
assaulted and then she
But that's not grounds for you doing that. Like
no,
there,
not at all.
it
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter what happened.
Mm-mm. But I think she probably tried to hide the whole pregnancy, because why are you this big socialite, beauty queen, pageantry type person, and then for a period of months you don't post, and then right when school is getting ready to kick off, football games, you being seen and all of this, then you have a baby and then you try to conceal it. I wonder, was she just trying to just hide it all together and then make it go away and make it seem like she never had a baby?
That's, that sounds like exactly what she was trying to do.
Hmm.
Oh.
Because if she stopped posting around about April, she was already pregnant. You count from April to August, September. That's almost her 9 months. If you count like that, give or take, she probably found out she was pregnant in maybe January, February,
Mm-hmm.
and then hit her third, fourth, going in the fourth month. She, was like she ain't posting because she probably started showing. Yeah.
Only other option is stillborn.
Or either it wasn't a stillborn, and like I said, she tried to hide the whole pregnancy, conceal the whole thing.
That's murder.
Right. Because I'm like, why would you stop posting?
Right. You this big
You
popular.
and he said that she stopped posting for a period of time since April. She hadn't really posted. So you pretty much concealed your whole pregnancy, your face, and everything from social media.
What is the difference between someone who just is very private, they wanted to have a home birth, and then something that goes to the point where it's illegal, where you conceal the birth of an infant?
There's a pretty recent statute. I practice mostly in Ohio. We don't have a counterpart to that. But just by reading the news and following criminal cases, it's become more and more common, or at least it's more covered, that young women who didn't intend to be pregnant and don't want people to know that they're pregnant conceal that pregnancy and then the birth. And if you're simply doing that because you want to just raise your child in confidence without the world knowing, no prosecutor is going to bring that charge. The elements and the spirit behind this charge is somebody who conceals the birth of an infant and that the infant goes on to die or need medical care and is not being properly cared for. So the prosecutors, as somebody who has to make charging decisions as a prosecutor, I'm not worried about somebody who gives birth to a baby and doesn't send out a birth announcement on email. I'm worried about someone who gives birth to a baby, that baby dies, and they don't tell
Hmm.
about that.
What do you make to this point of what she's accused of? And we don't know what was going on in her life. We don't know if there's other circumstances, and I don't know what it would be, but something that would make you say, like, okay, I kind of get it a little bit more. Maybe you would have more sympathy for her than what the charges suggest. But this is someone who's accused to this point of, having a dead child, and then that child is put into a blanket, into a trash bag with other cleaning supplies. Just what stands out to you about what she's accused of to this point, and just how serious, I mean, it's certainly serious, but just how serious the allegations she's facing are?
When a criminal hides what happened with a crime, that is one way prosecutors show consciousness of guilt, that you've done something wrong.
Yep.
That's one of the factors that might be present here. Now, I've reviewed some of the social media about this case, and there are many prosecutors in the court of social media who are trying to bring their own indictments. But the court that I live in is the court of law. And in Kentucky, like every other state, prosecutors have to prove cases beyond a reasonable doubt. And a smart prosecutor is going to review all the facts before deciding what those proper charges are. So I'm hesitant to opine or guess that somehow there was more criminal culpability than what's already been charged. Having said that, these are the kinds of charges you bring to put the person into court custody for a bond hearing so that you can then pursue potentially more serious charges.
That was actually kind of the next question I had, because she was arrested, I believe it was 4 days after police were first called to her home for this unresponsive infant, which is the baby that was dead. And then she's now charged with the abuse of the course. But why charge with these as opposed to maybe waiting a couple more days to see what the cause of death was, to see if this is a murder case or not?
By charging somebody with a lesser offense, you achieve several things. Number one, you get this person in front of a judge, so subject to bond conditions. So we have that now. Number two, you put that person on notice that we are investigating you, and if you were to start tampering with evidence or doing away with evidence, that's going to be an additional charge. And
It
number
was
three,
already tampered with.
Unless there's some reason, sometimes in organized crime cases or drug buys, you don't want the world to know that you're onto something. In this case, you want to tell the world, we got a problem here, we have some evidence, we're taking action. Looks like that's what prosecutors in Kentucky did.
And there's just a lot of questions to this story that we don't know
You
the
want to be
answers to.
famous? Here you
Hopefully
go.
we'll learn more as time goes on about what was going on in her life, some of the reasons, if she's guilty of what they're accusing her of, for all of that. But knowing that you have prosecuted cases that are similar to this, and this isn't the first time that we've heard a story, sadly, like this. I mean, what is the reason that you've seen in the past that you have young women who find themselves in these situations that maybe they didn't want to be in or predict that they were going to be in, but then how do they get to the point where something like this happens?
I deal in the law, not in morality typically, but there are consequences when people have sex outside of marriage or when they're not expecting to have a child. In most cases, birth control stops a child from being born. In other cases, people have abortions. In this case, this young woman we're waiting on evidence, may have made a decision that she simply didn't want to be a mother, that she's too young, she has her whole life ahead of her, but there's another person involved. And that's something that prosecutors and all of us have to remember, that when a woman's pregnant, now there's another person, another life involved, and that's something all of us should take very seriously.
And what options typically are there? Because I've been seeing that on social media as well today, where there's places, like a firehouse in some states where you can, if you have a child, you're just, for whatever reason, no judgment, you can leave the baby and then firefight.
Man, look, fuck that. Y'all don't need to listen to them. Y'all need to listen to us. They regurgitating everything that we already said.
Yep.
Uh,
And you can't tell me her ass got off of social media since April for whatever reason. As much as she was being posted and taking pictures and all of that, no, she was trying to hide her pregnancy. It ain't no, I know it's you innocent until proven guilty, but no, anybody else of a brown skin complexion, they would be talking different. They'll be like, oh, I can't believe she did that and all of that. No, they need to be doing it, give that girl that same energy anybody else would get.
mm-hmm.
She didn't want to have that baby. She was going back to school with no baby. I would be highly surprised if they come back and say that baby was stillborn. I'm highly surprised.
Should find out here in the next week or so.
Yep, it shouldn't. He said it should take just a few days. Because they're not going to have to send them off for like toxicology or anything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if her charges be upgraded.
Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. One family.
Endless
Let us
connection.
know what y'all think about Miss Laken. Are we going too hard or what? Y'all let us know. But be fair. Be realistic though.
I want
And
to hear
tell.
y'all's thoughts
Mm-hmm.
All I got to say, if it was brown, we wouldn't have got no bond.
at all.